Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning. We made it to Friday. It is October 17th, and thanks for joining us today.
All right, before we get to all of our weather and traffic, Justin Horn standing by. We also have this pretty interesting idea, Steph. How great, I don't know whether you would think this is great or not, would it be to not have to shop for toilet paper for a month? Let's explain why.
It depends. Yes. It depends, right? So that's what the people over at Charmin are suggesting after rolling out their latest release. So starting Thursday, Charmin is introducing what they call the Forever Roll.
Okay, so here we go. It's a 1,700 sheet roll of toilet paper that is meant to last up to a month, depending, I guess, on how many people you're living with or your household. And again, this is just based on a two-person household. The roll is about 32 times larger than a standard one.
So the Forever Roll is available online and in stores, including Walmart, Target, and of course Amazon. So the company is even offering a 30-day money-back guarantee. We'll ask later. So Charmin insists that it's still the same soft, two-ply, ultra-soft, paper that people love.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But it kind of looks like from the video. You know what it looks like when you're at work. Those industrial
the
industrial rolls.
Yeah, but those are one ply.
They are one ply. Yes,
it's always you always gotta pull a bunch of butts. Use like 100 sheets, right?
Apparently, it's as long as the Washington Monument. I was reading about this earlier. Yeah, so it can be basically from the top of the Washington Monument to the bottom. That's how long this roll is. I just would feel a little awkward walking around like the
at the grocery store,
like with a giant roll of toilet paper. Like what is this guy have going on at home?
Or it might catch on, and then companies will start building stuff for it, or like a dispenser for it, or maybe they'll have a Halloween themed one. Who knows? I don't know.
All right, very interesting. If you plan to go get yourself a giant roll of Charmin, let us know. Take a picture, send it to KSAT Connect.
Or wear it outside. We'll go outside with Lycam.
Let's do that.
Just wrap yourself up, and there's your costume.
Yeah.
Buy the giant
mummy costume.
A mummy costume. Yeah, for sure.
Well, that is a choice. What's interesting though, guys, is you would have to have some sort of special hanger for that, because you can't just put it on your normal,
Yeah, that's what I was saying. The people that will make money off of building a new dispenser. Yeah.
There you go. All right. That's my lead in. All right, let's take a look outside right now. We've got a few clouds. We've had a cloudy morning for the most part. Temperatures right now sitting at 73, 68 in New Braunfels, 73 Converse, 68 Bernie. It's been a pretty nice morning. These clouds have stuck around for a little while, but I do think they go away. 83 degrees noontime, 90 this afternoon, so it's going to be another pretty hot day. Certainly by October standards, that is well above average, but it gets a little worse. We're going to see temperatures really climb tomorrow, up to 93 near records, but then a front comes through, and this is not a front to get excited about because it doesn't affect temperatures that much, at least, but it does affect the dew point and the humidity. It's going to drop off in a big way on Sunday, and that does allow for some cooler mornings and some really nice evenings. So we'll take a look at that weekend forecast. We'll break it down for you and talk about our lack of rainfall too, coming up in just a couple minutes.
And starting out here with this accident at 10 East at Proban. So basically they are in the clearing stages of this. This was blocking at least two main lanes. We see one of our school buses kind of going through that one area. So south of downtown, they are in the clearing stages, but this has caused some major problems for several of our drivers. Okay, let's talk about the weekend, because I have a couple of big things we have coming up here. Two major closures. First of all, 1604 at I-10 on the northwest side of town, 1604 East. That's going to be Chase Hill to the interchange. That will be shut down again starting tonight. Same right here, 1604 West, Northwest Military to the intersection, and this part of the intersection as well. 10, both directions, alternating main lane. So the one on Northwest Military should reopen by Sunday morning. The other one that's over by Chase Hill, that one will likely be there through the entire weekend. How about the northeast side of town? Still, this is going to be a major trouble spot for all of our folks. I-35 South right here at the Forum, that will be shut down over by 1604 in both directions, east and west. So you could take Lookout Road, Evans Road. That could kind of help you navigate around this. Pat Booker is also a potential option. So again, be careful if you're about to be headed out to the roads this weekend. It will be very, very busy for all of our folks on the northwest side of town, over by La Cantera and the Rim, and the northeast side of town as well. Okay, so let's get to some of your top stories this half hour. One of our top ones here at 9 o'clock, a person in the hospital this morning after a fire took over a home on the city's northwest side.
Well, it happened around 6 a.m. on Viendo Street near West Hildebrand Avenue. So San Antonio firefighters got there to a small single-family home with heavy flames. So 2 people were outside when crews got there, and 1 person was taken to the hospital with burns on their legs. The San Antonio Fire Department says the fire was under control in about 15 minutes, and investigators are working to figure out what started that. And now an update to a story that we have been following. A former Holy Cross coach has been rearrested for an additional charge of invasive visual recording.
An affidavit obtained by KSAT 12 reveals new details about 34-year-old Armando Arnulfo Flores. It says that he used a nanny cam disguised as an alarm clock to record without raising suspicion. While he was able to remotely delete some of that footage, officials did find video of a 13-year-old changing, as well as 2 deacons. There was also a recording from September of that suspect and a former staff member having sex. Police contacted this victim, who said that they did not want to press charges. However, Flores' cell phone revealed that he told that victim what to say to officials. Currently, his bond sits at $75,000. And this morning, 2 people in jail after the Bexar County Sheriff's Office discovered hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of meth laced with fentanyl inside a hotel.
So the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is reporting that the drugs had a street value worth of up to $800,000. Yolanda Ramos Ponce and Tomas Hernandez were arrested yesterday after the deputies found the drugs at the True by Hilton Hotel on East Houston Street near the downtown area. Deputies executed a search warrant after getting a tip. Now, Ramos Ponce and Hernandez are now facing drug possession charges.
Okay, in court this morning, testimony continuing in the trial of 3 now former San Antonio police officers accused in the killing of Melissa Perez. Another officer who was at the apartment the night that those officers shot and killed Perez took the stand yesterday. You see him right there. Officer Jonathan Salinas was the 3rd police officer to arrive the night of the incident back in June of 2023. He was seen on body camera video climbing into Perez's apartment before she swung a hammer at him. When the prosecution in the courtroom asked about why he did that, Salinas testified that Alfred Flores, who is one of the former officers on trial, gave him the approval to do so.
And what did you discuss with Defendant Flores?
It was a short conversation. I advised him, hey, my misdemeanor charge for criminal mischief was now upgraded for felony amount. Spoke with Detective Thornton, night SAPD, and advised him that I would like to try to apprehend her to the open window, which Flores responded, okay, keep me posted.
Alfred Flores, Elizar Alejandro, and Nathaniel Villalobos are all on trial and were all fired from SAPD after shooting Perez in her apartment. That night, the police chief said that Perez was having a mental health crisis. Testimony continues around 9:30 this morning, so in about half an hour, you can see it live. We are streaming this on all of our platforms. And this morning, we're talking more about the government shutdown. It's now been over 15 days and counting, and it's starting to affect people right here at home. For example, military families who have children with autism, as they rely on something called applied behavior analysis, or ABA therapy.
Well, military families get ABA therapy through their health insurance, but since the shutdown, their insurance hasn't been paid to the ABA practitioners. So our Stefania Jimenez spoke with a mother eager for the shutdown to end so her daughter gets the care that she needs.
Meet Summer Brown.
Hi, Dad. You want to play games?
Sure. She's a sweet 6-year-old who loves Bluey, playing with her sister Scarlett, and singing. As I realized quickly, she's also easy to love.
Oh, let go.
But Summer has been struggling.
Her PT reported that she was a little bit off. Things were different. Normally, she's very consistent and steady in being able to follow directions.
That's Summer's mom, Rebecca Brown. She says Summer's changed since she lost access to applied behavior analysis therapy, something she did for 30 hours every week before the shutdown.
For someone with autism like Summer, consistency and routine are so important to being able to function.
We're inside one of the rooms at Integrated Behavior Solutions. This is where Summer has received service of applied behavior analysis for the last 2.5 years. But since the shutdown, she and 25 other children from military families have not been able to access the service here.
Britt Sims is a board-certified behavior analyst and owns Integrated Behavior Solutions.
We are working on the kind of behaviors that promote independence for these kids. So from communication, behavior, social skills, play skills, to be able to take them from where they are and to build in the skills that necessary so they can live the most independent life they can live.
Those skills, Rebecca says, are what helps Summer flourish. She's better coordinated, can communicate what she wants, and takes an interest in things.
Going to the zoo, Summer didn't even look at the animals previously, and now, she knows all the animals' names, she knows the sounds they make.
But Rebecca's anxious all those gains will be lost if the shutdown keeps Summer from receiving ABA therapy. And she's hoping Congress comes back to the table so that kids like Summer get the services they need to function.
Hoping that somebody will hear my story and take an interest and be willing to stand up for military families like mine and get us back to those services that we need.
Well, Integrated Behavior Solutions, where Summer gets her ABA therapy, furloughed most of his practitioners because of that lack of funding. So Britt, who you heard from in this piece, told our Stefania Jimenez that he is worried about the kids.
So he also gave us a tour of the facility and explained that ABA therapy and basically how this all works. We have a video for you on that process on our website, KSAT.com.
Here's today's 9 at 9.
The federal government is now in its third week of a shutdown with no deal in sight. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says that he offered Democrats a vote to extend affordable health care tax credits if they back a plan to reopen the government. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer disagrees, though, saying that no such proposal was formally made.
Governor Greg Abbott has ordered Texas DPS and the Texas National Guard to deploy officers and troops to Austin ahead of tomorrow's nationwide demonstration that organizers are calling No Kings Protest. Activists claim they are speaking out against the Trump administration's mass deportation push, among other things. Abbott said violence and destruction will not be tolerated and vowed arrest for anyone who breaks the law.
Senate Republican leaders are considering taking up a bill as soon as next week to pay federal workers affected by the shutdown. 60 votes would be needed for it to advance, which would require bipartisan support.
Well, President Donald Trump is set to host Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for talks at the White House today. The meeting comes a day after Trump had a lengthy phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
And this morning, former National Security Advisor John Bolton has been indicted on 18 counts. He is accused of storing top secret records at his home and sharing classified notes about his time with the government. Prosecutors say that hackers linked to Iran accessed some of that material through Bolton's email. Bolton is denying all of those charges, though, calling them parts of what he describes as an effort by President Trump to intimidate his opponents.
Well, Nestle has announced that it will cut 16,000 jobs worldwide as the company moves to cut costs and ramp up turnaround efforts. The Swiss food giant's share price has been falling as it battles U.S. import tariffs, while costs have risen and debt levels have climbed.
Facebook's parent company Meta is shutting down its desktop messenger app. Starting December 15th, users will no longer be able to log into the app and will automatically be redirected to the Facebook website to access Messenger. Meta is encouraging users to go ahead and save their chat history.
Well, home builder sentiment jumped to a 6-month high in the U.S. this month. That jump has been helped by hopes mortgage rates will fall and that stimulate that demand to reduce the excess housing inventory that has held back new construction.
And a big change could come soon to Apple laptops. Bloomberg reporting that the next generation MacBook Pro is scheduled to include a touch screen. Pretty cool. The computers will run on M6 chips and are expected to be released late next year or early in 2027.
Pretty computer.
Yeah, definitely. I always want to touch screen stuff, you know, even my big TV. I'm always like, let me.
Sometimes you're in the habit of doing it and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, wrong computer. Yeah,
exactly.
That'll help with this case. Well, time now is 9:12 and we're at 73 degrees for now. You're watching GMSA at 9.
How about this? San Antonio Southside is about to experience some pretty big growth here as the world's largest privately owned construction equipment maker is building a massive new plant there. We're going to tell you how this could boost jobs and the local economy.
And it's about a month and a half away. We're talking about San Antonio's inaugural marathon. So we're going to tell you a little bit about some of the neighborhoods that the course will go through and how some of these neighbors and business owners are getting ready. Well, welcome back. It's 9:16 and we are about a month and a half out from the San Antonio Marathon. And with a new race hosted by San Antonio Sports, there is a new route going through some scenic and historic neighborhoods, including King William and Olmos Park. So I spoke with some neighbors who are excited about showing off their neighborhood and cheering on the runners. The inaugural San Antonio Marathon being done San Antonio style. The theme where every step tells a story. And that story is 26.2 miles across the city, starting first downtown and then into the King William neighborhood. I understand that you're pretty excited about the San Antonio Marathon coming through King William.
Yes. I live in the neighborhood, love running through it, and I'm super excited that it's coming back through the neighborhood this year.
Kimberly Ovashon is an avid runner. She says she's looking forward to setting up a cheer station to support other runners.
And it's the coolest thing to see the fastest runners and to also see the very last runner.
Being able to showcase the neighborhood, it is something where there is significant pride and significant ownership. So having such a large crowd being able to run through and enjoy it, it's amazing.
And then a little bit over halfway through the race, about mile 15, runners will be getting into Olmos Park. This is the first time that the San Antonio Marathon will be coming this way and right in front of your shop.
This is such a special little section of the neighborhood. We have such amazing small businesses and people that are on this stretch. So I'm excited to one, cheer on people, but then also have new people who haven't been to this part of the neighborhood before run by.
Katie Bestrichman is the owner at Rose Hip Market on Olmos Drive, which is on the route. So they'll be hosting a race party.
We want all the neighbors to come out, people to come camp out with us during the marathon, and we'll also be giving little samples of our pickle lemonade.
With the Taylor Swift album that came out, The Life of a Showgirl, we would have The Life of a Race Girl. So we'll have friendship bracelet station and posters, so you can make a poster to cheer on runners.
The marathon is on December 7th. That'll be exciting. So I'm looking forward now to running through that area and seeing them out with their posters and making, bracelets for the runners.
Pickle lemonade.
Yeah. Hopefully I get to give it a try as well. Yeah.
You're supposed to drink pickle juice though, right, to help with hydration?
It's supposed to help. I mean, everybody has their own preferences. I mean, sometimes you'll see volunteers handing out salt packets.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
it's supposed to help with cramping.
Yes, and you will see some desperate runners, just
That's
just
if you're,
taking
that
it
won't
like
be
that.
That's if you're a professional. For me, I just,
Yeah.
have a soda and then,
Soda's good. I mean,
no, it's not.
well,
Don't do that.
It's your reward. Soda would be a good reward after the race.
Ooh, yeah, after. All right, let's take a look at what we got going on with the Aquifer. And I'm just writing an article about this. I'm going to publish here in a few minutes on KSAT.com, but the Aquifer is at 625.4 today. That is a bad number. It is about 37 feet below the average. And we had a low in May of 623.1. We're approaching that. This number has been falling. Would not be surprised if we get there with the dry forecast that we have. Also keep in mind that the last time the Aquifer was above 650, you got to go back to April 2022. And I would consider that kind of a healthy number, entering a healthy territory. We've been well below that mark. So it's been a really rough stretch for the Aquifer. And if you look back, May of 2025, earlier this year, where we hit 623.1, that was the third lowest number we've seen, with the all-time low being 612.5 in the big drought of the 50s, but since 1990. So these are not good numbers, and this is not where we want to be. And keep in mind also that Comal Springs stops flowing around 620 feet with the J17 well. So a lot to take in there. Just know that if you're a SAWS customer, you're still in stage 3 restrictions, meaning it's once a week watering. You kind of know the drill. It's based on your address. Could we get any rain this weekend? The short answer is probably not. You look at the futurecast here. There is a frontal boundary coming through. This is tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and there could be some storms up to our north, but I just don't think we get a lot here. There is a very small window, I'd say between maybe like 9 and midnight, where we could see a shower. But the bigger story here is going to be the drier air that plunges in on Sunday, and we get much lower humidity. So the weekend forecast, 93 Saturday, hot and humid. This is going to be near a record high. 10% chance for showers. Front comes through, and that's basically pre-dawn Sunday, and then 88 on Sunday. A little cooler behind the front, but not by much. What you will really notice, though, is the lower humidity. Dew points will plunge. Outside right now, 73 at the airport, 72 in New Braunfels. We still have some morning clouds out there. I think those will begin to go away here soon, although we have a nice little cloud deck here from San Antonio right along Highway 90, right up against the escarpment, as we sometimes see here. Forecast, 83 noontime, 89 at 3 o'clock. We make our way up to 94 high and then slip back down into the 80s tonight. So all in all, a pretty nice Friday if you have evening plans. Just know tomorrow will be hot and humid. Sunday, a little better behind the front, but not by a lot. We do get into the low 60s Monday morning, and that's the really nice part with all of this. We may get another weak front Tuesday and Wednesday, but these fronts are just lacking oomph.
Yeah.
Oomph. We need a little more oomph.
Okay, well, I feel like we're getting there. I feel like yesterday afternoon was kind of nice. I mean, hot, warm, but nice. Almost there, Justin.
Love the positivity.
He just wants more oomph. That's basically what he wants.
Soon.
9:22 right now, 73 degrees outside.
Well, coming up, a new manufacturing company opening on the city's south side, giving hope for new jobs and the boost for the local economy. Our Pashada Hope gives us a look at the facility that's even bigger than initially planned. That's coming up after the break.
JCB Texas says they are looking to fill 1,500 jobs when their new home opens next year. And that home is going to be much bigger than they first thought.
In June 2024, JCB broke ground on its newest North American facility. 18 months in, this is the framework of JCB Texas. The facility was initially going to be 500,000 square feet, but officials announced earlier this year the plant was doubling its size to 1 million square feet.
And Texas is a great place to distribute machines from, so just a natural evolution of our business to build more in the US, and Texas is a great place to do it.
Once this factory is fully operational and we're working at this first phase capacity, we'll be building close to 150 machines a day.
Construction of this multi-million-dollar facility isn't the only focus for JCB. It's also trying to cement itself as a strong community partner of San Antonio.
Just last month, JCB partnered with local companies to enter into the construction competition to help the San Antonio Food Bank and to feed the creativity of future architects. David Carver, the director of operations for the San Antonio facility, says the company is looking to employ individuals with a wide range of skills.
The key skills that we need on site here is there's a big welding shop, so welding is a key skill for us, and that's everything from manually welding to automation and robotics.
And Carver says the employee profile doesn't stop there.
We've reached out to lots of the non-profit organisations, working with people like Haven, working with Chrysalis Ministries, working with Morgan's, just trying to look at those other areas of employment.
As of now, JCB Texas is slated to open October 2026. Officials are encouraging those interested in applying for a job to check out their website. We have that link on our website, KSAT.com. Pashada Pope, KSAT 12 News.
Well, welcome back. It's 9:31. Well, a wanted felon in and out of prison after at least a dozen arrests. That man shot and killed after San Antonio police said he fired at officers, hitting two of them.
KSAT Investigates looked into his criminal history. This of Odon Bustos. Dylan Collier explains why that suspect was free at the time of that fatal encounter.
Just weeks before 36-year-old Odon Bustos' life ended amid a hail of gunfire outside a Westside motel, surveillance cameras in this Southside convenience store captured him approach the counter and demand money from the register. According to this SAPD incident report, Bustos flashed a gun in his waistband before taking off with $300 and several items stolen from the store. A warrant for aggravated robbery was issued the next day. At the time of his death, Bustos was also wanted for a state parole violation and on a warrant out of Dimmitt County, 2 hours southwest of San Antonio, for obstructing a court order.
This is way too much.
Bustos is the latest suspect accused of shooting and injuring SAPD officers, despite having a long criminal history and recent brushes with the law.
The individuals that are committing crimes are pushing the limit now and testing it where it didn't used to happen.
Court records confirm he had prior convictions for felony drug possession, felon in possession of a firearm, and family assault. 2 separate charges of mail theft and unlawful carry of a weapon by someone with a felony conviction were dismissed last year. His attorney told us the cases were taken into consideration when a judge revoked his client's probation in a separate weapons case. That judge sentenced Bustos to 2 years in prison last September, but he was given credit for 285 days time served, meaning he did not remain in custody for very long. Dylan Collier, KSAT investigates.
Well, KSAT did make multiple requests to interview Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez. His office was responsible for prosecuting Bustos in most of his cases.
DA officials declined to make Gonzalez available. In a statement, they said that the 2024 weapons charge was rejected because the arresting agency did not provide the evidence that it needed to proceed with that case.
And of course, you can find more of this story on our website, ksat.com.
Well, let's talk about this here as we get you 934. 2 Army commands based right here in San Antonio are leaving Military City, USA. Fort Sam Houston will no longer be home to Army North and Army South. Now, we were told that the 2 will consolidate and head to Fort Bragg in North Carolina. Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones responded to KSAT's request for a comment on this move. Jones's statement in part read, quote, "While I am disappointed to hear the consolidated headquarters will relocate to North Carolina, Army leaders this summer indicated even this outcome could yield a minimal impact to the overall Army footprint at JBSA," end quote.
Look out there with live cam this morning. We're at a nice 73 degrees for now. Not too bad for 9:34.
Yeah, it could be worse, but you know, for this October, it's just been so rough temperature-wise. We really need a cool down, and it still remains elusive for us. Real quick, I did want to pass along that we will not have a pollen count today or the next couple of days. Keep that in mind. I think that we've been holding pretty steady, though, with things low for now. So if anything does change in that regard, we'll let you know. But we will not be getting a pollen count today or tomorrow, and I believe over Sunday as well. All right, let's take a look at the number of 90-degree days in October. So we average about 6. We've had 19 days. That's the most we've ever seen. That was back in 1947. And as of today, we are now 14 days at 90 or above this October, and we're only about halfway through. So I'm afraid that number, that record number there, is in danger with more 90s in the forecast, including today. We're expecting to lose some of those morning clouds, and then eventually we make our way up to 83 noontime and a high right around 90 today. It is going to be hotter tomorrow, maybe approaching some records. Another look at that weekend forecast for you coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, 9:36, let's give you a look at your traffic. If you are about to step outside, things looking pretty good downtown there at 35 at Burbank, also up the road at San Marcos. We did clear out that crash at 10 at Probant, so all the traffic south of downtown is moving pretty well. We do have an incident, though, I want to let you know about. This is going to be 410 northbound at 151 on the west side of town. Looks like we also have a stalled vehicle right there at Callahan over there at 410 and I-10. 410 Broadway traffic looking good. Another reminder, major construction northwest side by La Cantera, and also major construction this weekend northeast side over by Pat Booker Road in Live Oak.
I'm going to have to keep a list with me.
Yes,
On the
you can go to ksat.com.
There you go, or do that.
There, yeah.
All right, well, it's not long until Election Day now, and early voting will start on Monday. So this election is different for San Antonio.
Well, it has the potential to reshape the downtown area, of course, with the Spurs Arena proposals. But let's say you live outside Bexar County. 17 constitutional amendments are going to be on your ballot. KSAT digital reporter Christian Riley gets you ready to cast your ballot.
This will be my first election as a San Antonio voter, so I'm bringing you along my own journey to make sure I'm registered to vote this November.
By the way, all these resources are available at ksat.com/vote.
First, I'm going to votetexas.gov to make sure I'm registered to vote.
I'm entering my name, date of birth, and zip code, and it shows the word active right here, so that means I'm good to vote.
Now let's talk about what to bring. Everyone needs an ID to vote in Texas, and this can include a driver's license, a voter registration card, a DPS-issued public safety card, a U.S. military ID, a citizenship certificate, or a passport. You can also bring notes about the candidates to reference as you vote, as long as it's not visible to others. But you'll want to leave the Spurs jersey at home. No clothing or signs supporting a political candidate, party, or ballot measure are allowed in the polling place. And this year, that includes Spurs and rodeo gear. Now all that's left to do is figure out where to vote. Bexar County voters can vote at any polling place, even on Election Day. The list of polling places and their hours can be found on the Bexar County Election Department's website. Christian Riley, KSAT 12 News.
All right, thanks, Christian. And here's a reminder about early voting in Bexar County next week. You can do that weekdays from 8 to 6. And on Saturday, October 25th, the polls are going to be open from 7 to 7.
And you can also vote on Sunday, October 26th from noon to 6 p.m. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 in the evening on October 27th to the 31st. So that's going to be through Halloween. And again, Election Day is taking place November 4th. That is a Tuesday.
Wonder if you can show up in your costume.
Good question, yeah. Just no Spurs gear or no Stockstone Rodeo
Can't
gear.
be the Coyote, I guess.
Yeah, well, there you go.
No. Well, looking ahead to some events happening this weekend and some perfect for the spooky month, of course.
Yeah, as we talk about Halloween tomorrow, the San Antonio Public Library is hosting a family-friendly Halloween celebration. This will take place from 2 to 4 p.m. There will be activities for all ages. And there you go, Steph. Costumes are encouraged. So you can dress up as the Coyote for this. And treats will also be provided for more Halloween events. All you got to do is check out mysapl.org for more information.
Yeah, sounds good. And to keep that Halloween spirit alive, tomorrow San Antonio's Office of Historic Preservation is hosting picnic and a movie for Dia de los Muertos at City Cemetery No. 1. So they will be screening Disney's Coco, a film that honors the Day of the Dead tradition. And before that movie, there will be a Dia de los Muertos scavenger hunt to explore the cemetery's historic treasures.
Yeah, cannot forget about Dia de Muertos. There will also be a community ofrenda where people can bring photos, notes, or other items to honor their loved ones that have passed on. This is taking place from 6 to 9 p.m. Just make sure to bring your blankets, lawn chairs, and also do not forget about the snacks.
Yeah, lots of snacks. Pan dulce.
There you go, yes.
Well, time now is 9:39 or 9:40 actually, and we're at 73 degrees for now. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Okay, coming up in just a bit, this is a story we've been following for nearly a year and a half now. Controversy surrounding the Guajolote Ranch development and the wastewater plant that could come with it. What records are showing this morning about similar treatment plants in our area?
Well, welcome back. It's 9:43. Well, KSAT is asking you questions about a proposed wastewater treatment plant in northwest Bexar County. It is part of the controversial Guajolote Ranch development. So researchers say the treated sewage that would flow into the Edwards Aquifer as a result could severely impact the drinking water for San Antonio.
But what about the similar treatment facilities that already exist around our area? And what makes this one so different? Sarah Costa takes a look into the compliance records of these existing plants.
People rob banks, but that doesn't make it correct.
It pisses me off.
That's the reaction I got from those who've been fighting the proposed Guajolote Ranch development for years. When Lennar, the Florida-based construction group, sent me this map of already existing wastewater treatment facilities along the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone. Their question, what makes the one that they want to build worse than the ones that already exist?
It's a little childish, to be honest. By pointing out all the things that other people are doing wrong and saying we can do wrong also, that's not the solution.
Lennar wants to build 3,000 homes on 1,100 acres for a proposed development called Guajolote Ranch. It would require a wastewater treatment facility that would dump treated sewage into Helotes Creek. That creek feeds into the Trinity and Edwards aquifers, which are part of the drinking water supply for nearly 2.5 million people across south central Texas and parts of the Hill Country. A 2020 study paid for by the city of San Antonio found that adding wastewater treatment systems would significantly degrade the watershed and the quality of water recharging the Edwards Aquifer. The group fighting this, the Scenic Loop Neighborhood Alliance, along with local and state leaders, took that map and looked into the Environmental Protection Agency's enforcement and compliance history. Here is what they found. Out of the 16, only 4 meet drinking water standards. Of those 4, 3 have been out of compliance over the past 3 years. And 1 was fined by the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality for serious noncompliance. Half of the wastewater treatment facilities that have reported data have been out of compliance at times over the past 3 years. 2 of these plants have been fined for noncompliance over $52,000. And violations included high levels of pollutants like E. coli, ammonia, nitrogen, and phosphorus.
What that tells me, though, is that TCEQ has been a little fast and loose with how they've allowed wastewater treatment plants along this region.
We know more today than we've ever known about wastewater, and we need to act on that for the good of the people of San Antonio, and that means no more plants on the contributing zone.
Scientist Stuart Birnbaum says not only do we have better data now on the damage that this has done, But where this proposed treatment facility would go also makes a difference. Dropping that treated sewage right over the Helotes Creek watershed.
This particular area is extremely sensitive.
I have emailed and called Lennar several times requesting a sit-down interview about this. I did not get a response. I emailed and called the TCEQ asking, how is this acceptable? And why are the fines so low? I got an email back saying when TCEQ identifies violations, we follow the enforcement process detailed on this webpage. They did not answer my questions.
Where is Lennar?
Former Mayor Ron Nirenberg says during his time in office, he attempted numerous times to find a better solution with the developer. He is determined to protect the drinking water of San Antonio.
You know, they will not come to the table because it's more important for them to get their profits on this development when they'll pack up and leave town, and we're going to be stuck with the mess that they create.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, and Sarah's been doing a lot of great reporting along with several of our other reporters covering everything going out there with Guajolote Ranch.
Yeah, a lot of people passionate about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's something that we're going to hear more about in the coming months. Okay, let's take a look at the dew point. And you may be asking, well, why are we bringing this up? Well, it's pretty muggy. If you stepped outside this morning, you can feel it. You can feel the moisture in the air. And tomorrow, I think will actually be fairly humid, but it's Sunday. Notice that we just kind of fall off a cliff here. It's because a front comes through, so humidity levels really drop. We fall into the very dry category, I think, on Sunday. So you'll feel the difference. Temperatures, again, aren't going to be that much cooler behind this front, but the humidity levels will be quite a bit lower, and that really is kind of the main takeaway for this weekend front. So let me walk you through the futurecast here. This is 5 o'clock today. There's nothing going on. I can't roll out a shower on the coastal plain, but I don't think it makes it here to San Antonio. Then as we get into tomorrow, we'll fast forward to 4 o'clock. There could be some storms Austin north. So if you're traveling up I-35 to Dallas-Fort Worth, they actually have a good chance of storms up there, but we just kind of miss out. We're on the very tail end here. And as this front starts to move in Saturday night, yeah, maybe a shower. New Braunfels east, can't even roll out one here in San Antonio. Front comes through, drier air punches in on Sunday, and again, that's where we feel the difference with this front. High temperatures today will be around 90, another really hot one, maybe some 80s in the hill country, but we go even hotter tomorrow, 93 in San Antonio, which, as I said earlier, could be a record high for that day. We do get a little bit of relief with the front in the sense that it's probably in the upper 80s on Sunday, but the bigger change will be the morning lows because, of course, that dry air, it still heats up efficiently, but it also cools down nicely. And so by Sunday morning, we're at 66. Monday morning, we're at 63. Tuesday morning, 68. So Monday morning is going to be the nicest of all because we'll see those temperatures really dip. We'll probably see some 50s in the hill country. As far as high temperatures go, though, this chunk of cooler air, we just get a glancing blow, which is why temperatures aren't really affected that much here in San Antonio. The really cool stuff is going to be up here across the Great Lakes. Chicago, Minneapolis, I pointed those two temperatures out because they see some of the coolest air. And that happens again as we get into Tuesday. Just sort of a glancing blow. We can't seem to get this cold air to come all the way down to Texas. Now, eventually it's going to. It's just a matter of when. We'll continue to keep track of that. Meantime, you know I love football, so we're going to talk a little bit about Saturday's football games. UTSA travels to North Texas in Denton. There is a good chance of storms up there, as I pointed out in the Metroplex, so know that game could be impacted by rain. So, too, could the A&M and Arkansas game in Fayetteville. There's a 90% chance of storms here, some of which could be strong to severe. So that certainly could impact that game. That's at 2:30 tomorrow. Texas Tech goes to Tempe, Arizona. That game is going to be sunny and low humidity temperatures in the 80s. Good there. And the Longhorns travel to Lexington, Kentucky. No rain there. Sunny skies, mostly sunny skies, and temperatures in the 70s. So that should be good to go. That one's at 6 p.m. Extended forecast, 93 Saturday, 88 Sunday. A little windy Sunday morning, too. Do know that. And that brings a little concern into play, too, of fire danger, because you get gusty winds, you get the dry air. We'll have to watch out for that, too. But all in all, not a bad weekend.
Not too bad, and hooray to whoever sees that 10% chance out there.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much, Justin. Okay, let's check in with our friends at SA Live. Of course, we're getting ready for the big Texas Comic-Con going on at the Gonzalez Convention Center. Jen, how are things looking over there?
Hi, friends. Yes, we are. We are getting ready, and celebrity power in the house. So I'm going to let you guys listen. Listen for this line. Okay, I'll give you a hint. Very, very popular show, okay?
Okay.
Even in San Antonio, I still got it.
Ooh.
I still got it.
You ready? You ready for the reveal? Here we
Let's
go.
see.
It's Don Mose from Happy Days around the house. Okay, we are so excited to have him here today. And, you know, this leads to our question. It's also National Pasta Day. So we had this fun question. Which celebrity would you have a pasta dinner with? I'm going to let you go first.
Wow.
Then you guys will answer.
I'd have to, you know, I had pasta with him once. I'd love to do it again with Joe Pesci.
Wow.
That was, he was a great guy. And that's who I'd love to have pasta with.
That
right
sounds
now.
fun.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I'd love to have pasta with someone who knows their way around pasta.
Yeah.
Chef Boyardee, is he an option?
There you go.
Little ravioli for you. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say Keanu Reeves, but I don't know if I want to eat in front of him.
Actually, no, Keanu Reeves is awesome. I do.
Right?
I'm gonna go. Let's see. I'll go with one of my favorite comedians, Adam Sandler.
That'd be
Adam
fun.
Sandler would be because I wanted a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun, and a little bit of goofiness too.
Oh, yeah, I think
Or
they're
Don, if Don's
Are you available
for
for
lunch today.
pasta?
We'll set it up.
I'm there.
Okay, good. Perfect. Well, thank you guys. Yes, you guys can scan the code at home and weigh in on that as well. Okay, speaking of celebrities, we're going to have another celebrity chat now. If you love horror films, we are chatting. It's the sequel, Black Phone 2. And this, let me tell you, I got a sneak peek. Very scary, and it's out in theaters. Also, Ty Bird, if you are hungry, guess what? They have a really delicious giveaway, and the donuts are great, obviously, so is the chicken. But tell me about this giveaway, David.
Thanks. Oh, we are doing an incredible giveaway today. We are going to give somebody, one lucky winner, donuts for an entire month, every day.
Every day. Look at it. Okay, tell us about the donuts. These are very different.
We make these to order. They're hot, fresh, made to order. Think of Krispy Kreme, but even better. We toss them in cinnamon and sugar. They're to die for, and they're 100% gluten-free.
Gluten? Okay, go ahead. Look, our photographer's taking one.
Little mini funnel cakes.
He's taking that. We're going to tell you how you can enter to win, and we have a lot more coming up right here on SA Live.